Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Shraddha's Physics. This video is based on statistical mechanics as per the CBCS syllabus. See what is entropy. The entropy term was introduced by Rodolphe J. Clausius in 1854. This entropy will show the degree of disorder or randomness in a system. For a state function like enthalpy, internal energy, etc., this entropy depends on the initial and final state of a system. It means that the change in entropy will be equal to the entropy in the final state minus the entropy in the initial state. For any chemical process, this change in entropy is equal to the entropy of the product minus the entropy of the reactant. For reversible process, change in entropy equal to delta Q divided by T. So it means that at equilibrium, del S will be equal to delta Q by T. Where this delta Q means the amount of heat added or subtracted to a system, and the T represents the absolute temperature. So for irreversible process, this change in entropy will be greater than delta Q by T, and for isolated reversible process, this delta is equal to 0. For isolated irreversible process, delta S, that is change in entropy, is greater than 0. The next is this entropy gives the relation between thermodynamics and statistical mechanics. So entropy, it is an extensive parameter. It means that the difference between intensive and extensive parameter is that if the value of the parameter remains unchanged on the partition of the system, then they are called intensive parameter. But in case of extensive parameter, if we will get partition in the system, then the value of the extensive parameter will get changed. So here you can see that if I will, suppose this is a system, and if I will divide this system into many parts, then the volume of the system change. So we can say that the volume is an extensive parameter. Similarly, area is an extensive parameter, length is an extensive parameter, and so on. But the temperature, if I will divide this or partition, if I will give the partition in the system, then the temperature or the pressure of the system remains unchanged. So it is called the intensive parameter, that is temperature and pressure are the intensive parameter. Here you can see that entropy is an extensive parameter. It means that the sum of the entropy S1 plus S2 plus so on plus Sn, that is for n system, the entropy will be S equal to S1 plus S2 plus so on plus Sn. When the system is in equilibrium, the thermodynamical probability, that is omega, and the entropy S is maximum. Since omega is large, it is convenient to take log E omega. S is directly proportional to the log base E omega. So that will be equal to the proportionality constant Kb, that is Boltzmann constant, 1.38 into 10 power minus 23 joule per Kelvin. So S will be equal to Kb log base E omega. Now we will see the Boltzmann theorem on entropy and probability. Both entropy and the thermodynamical probability, it attains a maximum value at equilibrium. So according to Boltzmann, Boltzmann says that this entropy, it is a function of omega. So we can write S as the function of omega. So let us consider two separate systems having entropies S1 and S2, and the thermodynamical probability are omega 1 and omega 2 respectively. So we can write, since entropy is an extensive parameter, we can write for the individual system the total entropy will be equal to S1 plus S2, and this thermodynamical probabilities can be written as omega equal to omega 1 into omega 2, that is, it has the multiplicative property. Since Boltzmann says S is the function of omega, we can write in place of omega S equal to f of omega 1 into omega 2. Again, this f of omega 1 and omega 2 can be written as f of omega will be equal to, this f of omega equal to f of omega 1 into omega 2, and it is also written as f of omega 1 plus f of omega 2. Since S equal to S1 plus S2, in place of S, it is the f of omega, and in place of S1, f of omega 1 plus in place of S2, this is f of omega 2. So differentiating this equation with respect to omega 2, we get, so d by d omega 2 of f of omega will be equal to d by d omega 2 of f of omega plus d by d omega 2 of f of omega 2. Clear? Since here you can see that omega is the function of omega 1 and omega 2, there are more than one variable, so we have to consider the partial derivative, that is dou by dou omega 2. So here you can see that this is the function of omega 1 and here we have to differentiate with respect to omega 2. So this part will goes to 0, the first term, and the remaining term will be d by d omega 2 of f of omega 2. So here d by d omega 2 can be written as, by multiplying d omega in numerator and denominator, d by d omega into d omega by d omega 2. Clear? So this d by d omega into, it can be written as d by d omega 2 of, in place of omega we can write omega 1 into omega 2. Clear? So you can see that this is the u into v function. So d by d omega of, first omega 2 is kept constant, d omega 1 by d omega 2 plus omega 1 kept constant, dou omega 2 by dou omega 2. This is the partial derivative. Clear? So d by d omega 2 will be equal to this d by d omega of, you can see here, this is the omega 1 with respect to the omega 2. So this term goes to 0. So the remaining will be omega 1 because this term goes to 1. Del omega 2 by del omega 2, this is 1. So the remaining is d by d omega. This is into omega 1. So this term is into omega 1. This is your d by d omega into this part. So this part is your omega 1. So we can write as d by d omega 2 will be equal to omega 1 into d by d omega. So here putting equation 6 in 5, if we will put this equation in this, d by d omega 2 of f of omega will be equal to, in place of d by d omega 2 we can write omega 1 d by d omega into, this is your f of omega, that will be equal to d by d omega 2 of f of omega 2. Clear? Again, differentiating this equation with respect to omega 1, that is d by d omega 1 of omega 1 d by d omega of f of omega equal to d by d omega 1 of d by d omega 2 into f of omega 2. So here is the equation. So you can see that with respect to d by d omega 1, this will goes to 0 because these are your omega 2. So you can write it as, this is your first, keeping omega 1 constant, this is omega 1, d by d omega 1 of this much, d by d omega f of omega, plus d omega 1 by d omega 1, this is 1, into df omega by d omega. There are two terms, that is u into v. So this will be equal to 0. Again you can write d by d omega 1 as d by d omega into d omega by d omega 1. So you can cancel d omega. So here also you can see that in place of omega, if we will write omega 1 into omega 2, so in place of omega, if we will put omega 1 and omega 2, you can see that from that relation we will get omega 2. So this d by d omega 1 will be equal to omega 2 into d by d omega, as we have solved before. In case of d by d omega 2, it is omega 1 d by d omega, and in place of d by d omega, it is omega 2 d by d omega. Again, so d f of omega divided by d omega plus this omega 1 into, in place of d by d omega, we can write this as omega 2 d by d omega. So this is your omega 2, this d by d omega into d by d omega, that is d square by d omega square into f of omega, that is equal to 0. Again, this df of omega by d omega plus omega 1 into omega 2, this will be your d square by d omega square, means f double prime of omega, and in place of d by d omega of f of omega is f prime omega, that is equal to 0. So again, by taking this f prime of omega on the right hand side, this will be omega 1 omega 2 f double prime of omega is equal to minus f prime of omega. Again, by taking omega 1 into omega 2 on the right hand side, this will be f double prime of omega will be equal to minus f prime of omega divided by omega 1 into omega 2. So here from this relation you can calculate f double prime of omega divided by f prime of omega will be equal to minus 1 by omega 1 into omega 2. So in place of omega 1 into omega 2, you can write omega. So here by multiplying d omega on both sides, we can get f double prime of omega divided by f prime omega into d omega will be equal to minus d omega divided by omega. Clear? So integrating both sides, we will get, so this is my ln f prime omega. equal to this is minus ln omega plus this is some integration constant ln k naught. Similarly, you can see that this ln f prime of omega will be equal to this is log a minus log b. So this will be log a by b k naught by omega. So by cancelling log on from the both sides, we can write f prime, or taking the anti-log of both sides, we can write a prime omega will be equal to k naught divided by omega. Again multiplying d omega on both the sides, we will get a prime of omega d omega will be equal to k naught by omega d omega, and integrating we will get this is f of omega will be equal to k naught constant, and again this is ln omega plus some integration constant a. So this f of omega, we know this entropy is a function of the thermodynamical probability. So S will be equal to k naught ln omega plus a. So according to the third law of thermodynamics, at absolute zero temperature, one single microstate is available. So we can write this ln omega is equal to, in place of omega, this is 1. So ln 1 equal to 0 and entropy equal to 0. So this 0 S, in place of S, if you will put 0, 0 will be, this term is 0. So A will be my 0. So we can see that S will be equal to k naught ln omega. Clear? So this is the Boltzmann theorem on entropy and thermodynamical probability. So the question will be as like, so the relationship between the entropy and the thermodynamical probability. So you have to prove all these things, and final expression is S will be equal to k naught ln omega. Clear? So this is all for today. Thank you.